how to hear the voice of God. But so, like I said, so it can be for a location. So you could ask God and he could say, Hardee's, right across the street, right? Or he could say, oh, a stop sign. And you go, oh, well, what's the first stop sign that pops into my head? Or, you know, a bench, a coffee shop, Walmart. Any of those are completely valid. You can even get street names or addresses, as Oxley had put that example in there for the last session, right? That one is a little less common, but if God gives you an address, go for it. That's awesome. So, or you can get a person's name. So, like the name Ashley. Or you could just be out somewhere and you can be like, okay, I have this name, and it's easier when you're in places like if you get Hardee's and Ashley, and then, you know, it's easier, you're like, oh, I hope it's an employee, because then you just have a name tag, right? But if not, you can be out looking for a person named Ashley, and just whoever kind of highlights. Like if you see a woman in the corner and you're like, I think that's her, go up, be like, is your name Ashley? And she'll be like, yeah, how do you know that? And it's the craziest thing, it's so fun. Let's see here. A person's appearance, so colors are really, really helpful. Or like types of clothing, so like when I was in Harrisburg once, we were doing a treasure hunt, I got a red baseball hat, and I saw a guy with a red baseball hat. I couldn't chase him down, but it was definitely God. And so other than that, though, you know, treasure hunts can also be physical ailments. So that's kind of like more of the word of knowledge type things, where you're like, oh, I think someone with a knee brace, or if we see, what is it, like back pain or like whatever, you know, you can ask about those things too. Oh, and then, this one's really fun. Then it gets to the unusual. That's literally a category in here, the unusual. That's when we talk about banana, you know, or one of my favorite examples is my fiance's story, and he got a little black dog. And they were going to a local mall, and they were in the mall, and they were finishing up the outreach, and he was like, okay, I didn't see this little black dog, like there's not going to be a black dog in the mall. They were walking out, he felt so relieved, and then he sees a woman with a giant purse and a little black dog sitting inside the purse, and he just goes, oh no. He was like terrified, especially because her boyfriend was giant, and he was a small little middle schooler. At the time, his youth group was really, really good in moving in gifts of the Spirit and stuff, so they went on treasure hunts all the time. He was really blessed in that, but you know, then you have to go up to people like that, and it's really scary. But anyway, it was a huge blessing to the woman, but you know, you can get those really unusual things, and you don't think it's God at all, and then the last minute, God will get you, and you'll be like, oh, it's right over there, and you have to go do it because you know it's him. So that's just kind of how, you know, you can go about getting things for the treasure hunt. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys think of those things. We're going to give you guys little note cards, right? We have those. Okay, cool. We'll give you guys note cards. You can write down what you're hearing from God. So you could be sitting here, you're like, okay, I feel like I should go to Walmart, and I'm going to see a lady with a purple shirt, and it's going to have a flower on it. Whatever. So, but yeah, you guys can do that, and we'll do that after the session is over and as we're getting our groups together to go and everything. Let me see here. So, the treasure map is a combination of all the separate lists of clues created by each person in the group. So that's when, you know, you're pairing up and you compare what you guys got. So if you both got Walmart, great, go to Walmart. If, you know, you got separate places, you can each pick where to choose first and however you're feeling led to do that. But it's basically combining all of the clues to just see if God is highlighting a roadmap to you guys. To be like, well, I think we should go here first, or we both got this thing, so we should definitely go here. Just things like that. The treasure map is just going to come naturally to you guys as you're comparing clues. But the main thing is getting the clues first. So, let me see here. So this is where the actual outreach comes in. So you get to these places and you will find these people, and when you do find them, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And that's where Oxley's teaching just comes in. So you can go up to them and you can be like, hey, so we're looking for a person with, you know, this purple shirt and a flower on it, and, you know, we feel like God told us this, and you match this description. Is there anything that you need prayer for? If you had like an idea already in your head that this person is having trouble in their marriage, or this person has back pain. You can pair those things up and just see how they match up. But you can just ask them too. That's totally okay. To just be like, you were highlighted to us, and God showed us this, and you're it. So what can we do for you? And you can just really be a servant in that way, and making sure that you're aware of what they need, even if you feel like you got a physical thing, and then you go up to them and like, yeah, but I'm really hurting in this area of my life, and you might have to walk them through emotional healing too. So just being sure that you're aware of all aspects of their life and not just the thing that you think you heard from God. That's really important too. So I think you guys got a pretty good explanation of the actual outreach that Oxley did, so I will kind of skip over that. You guys are going to be amazing. But when someone says no is the really, really important thing here. Because when someone says no, it's really important to press in, but not too much. Because if you press in too much, then you're just going to be a pushy Christian, and people are going to be really turned off by that and can sometimes get really hurt, especially people who have been hurt in the church before. And if you're just trying to push Jesus on them, it's not going to be good for their heart or their mindset or anything like that. So this is where, if you're not good at reading people, get with someone who's really good at reading people, and you guys can make eye contact. And it's good to have to be aware if someone is kind of like, oh yeah, I don't really want to be here, like all that stuff, they've already said no, you can always try again. Two is kind of a good time to be like, okay, how about this? Like, what about this? So if they say no to the back pain thing and they don't want to get prayer, well, you can look at your partner and be like, do you have anything? And if they say, oh, well, I saw you fall off of your bike when you were 7, and did that cause any emotional trauma? And they say no again, and they really don't want prayer, nothing's happening, then you can just say, okay, well, Jesus really loves you, and we hope you have a great day. Just, let God do his thing and walk away. So it's better to just end with Jesus really loves you, and like leaving it at that if they really aren't accepting, if they're really not wanting to get prayer. So if they do say yes, though, which is great, a lot of people will say yes, but again, we have to be ready for the people who say no. If they say yes, and if it's for physical healing, you can walk through the 5-step prayer model. Who here is familiar with the 5-step prayer model? Oh man, not many of you. Okay, so these are the cards that Jerry was talking about that are back at our book table. They're $2, and you can literally read off of them, and people will get healed. It's amazing. But basically, you want to interview the person. You're like, okay, well, what's going on? How long have you had the problem? All of that stuff. And they'll tell you, oh, well, my back has been hurting for 10 years, and it happened when this was here, and blah, blah, blah. And they'll just tell you. And sometimes God can connect the physical hurt to an emotional problem, and the Holy Spirit will connect that for you. Sometimes it's unforgiveness. And, oh, well, my back started hurting when I went through this divorce. Okay, well, then maybe there's some unforgiveness attached to that. And that's just something that you have to go through with the Holy Spirit and really be Spirit-led in that area. But after that, you can ask them, okay, well, what level is your pain at? And if they say, oh, it's an 8 right now, an 8 out of 10. And after that, you can be like, okay, well, can I put my hand on your back where it hurts? If they say no, then you can just pray, like God will do it anyway. But if they do, put your hand on their back. If it's not quite an appropriate place, ask them to put their hand there, and you can put your hand on top. Okay? So do that, pray, and then recheck how the healing is going. You're like, okay, so if it was at an 8, does it feel any better? Test it out, see if it's better. And then you can, keep praying. And if you keep seeing God doing stuff, keep praying until it's at a 0 and they're completely healed, right? You guys are really great at that, but just quick run through 5-step prayer model. And if you guys do need help, the 5-step prayer model cards are back at our table, and on the back side is deliverance, which is also quite helpful if you're out on the streets and you have to, do deliverance. It does happen, not often, but it does happen. So yeah, so that was just like a quick overview of what to actually do in the ministry time. But do you guys have any questions about treasure hunts or anything like that? Show of hands, anyone? Oh, you guys are good. Oh, yes.
Can you talk about kingdom?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you can be out somewhere, and even if you get all of these places and stuff, so if you just decide to go to one place, but you find all of your things in that one place, like that's still good. So even if you think your person is going to be at Hardee's, but you see them at Walmart, then go for them at Walmart. You see them there. It doesn't have to be at that place. Just be on the lookout. And if you get all of your people, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do the setup yet or what our time limit is. But if you guys want to keep going with this, and if you guys get all of your people and you're like, oh my gosh, well, we got all of our treasure hunt things done, keep going. Like, keep doing more and, seeing what else God will give you. So yeah, that's really about it. Do you guys want to go into how we're splitting people up? Yeah. Do you guys all feel okay about this? Are you excited? You're a little excited? Okay, get excited because God's going to do some really awesome stuff. But do we have a handheld for Jerry? Southerners. Everything's slow. Man, we're from the north. It's not slow. Everything's fast-paced. Natalie, can you mute me? Just so I can. Thanks.
All right, really, honestly now, does anybody have any questions? Do you feel that you're at least partially equipped to go do this? And it's okay to say, no, I don't have a clue, because we want to make sure you're good, that you're weaponized to go do this, like Bishop said last night. Does anybody have any questions? I'd like to share just a short testimony about a treasure hunt. My wife and I, and Steve, and there's another gentleman at school named Al, we kind of hang together because we're the over 50 crowd or near it. And we did a treasure hunt in school one day before we went out, and we thought we were supposed to go to the mall. So we wrote that on a piece of paper, and then we were looking for a guy in a white van, which really didn't make sense because we were going to the mall, and a gray sweatshirt. Well, as we pull into the mall, this guy with a gray sweatshirt is getting into a white van. Before I could even get my truck stopped, Steve jumped out of the back and ran up to this guy before he went, and he had the piece of paper with all the clues on it. And Steve approached the gentleman. Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, he had his mother or father was ill. He was an elder in a church, and the church was having some things, and he just felt like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. And Steve showed him all the clues on the piece of paper, that how much God was like chasing him down that day to give him an encouraging word. And it really blessed that guy. So treasure hunts are fun because it makes something, for me, I'm uncomfortable doing outreaches. I'm not really outgoing, and I'm not good with new people. But a treasure hunt makes it fun because it's like a game, and then you actually find people and you make their day better. You encourage them, you get to pray for them. So it's really cool. And then the thing about this is just be yourselves. And I know this group, we've been here a day and a half. You're very mature, you're very friendly. So if you just go up to somebody and say, hey, I see you were limping, can I pray for you? That's how I do it. I'm just a country boy from up north, and I just like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Are you all right? You just seem kind of sad. And just approach them like you folks would each other. And just don't roll up on them with 4 or 5 people, because then you kind of look like a mob. But if it's just one person going and the other one hanging back, and just be friendly like you all are, you'll be fine. Now, the goal is now to kind of divide you up into groups. so the bishop can kind of assign us where we want to go. So I need everybody to be brutally honest now. Who is looking forward to this and has kind of got a little bit of excitement about doing this? Okay. What I would like you to do now, those that are excited about it, raise your hands. Those that are not so excited, find somebody that's excited. All right? Because what I want to do is I want to put the comfortable people with the not so comfortable people, so they just don't like me. I will hide behind somebody. And if you get two people like that, you'll end up at Dunkin' Donuts having coffee instead of doing outreach.
Who's kind of excited but terrified right now? All the same ones, okay. Who's really excited but not terrified? You look at those people. Raise your hand. Y'all all stand up. The ones who are excited and not terrified. Come up here.
There you go. That's how to do it. Do you want this, Bishop?
No, I'm good.